Everyone, welcome back. Welcome to the stream. So today I'm starting a new adventure, and the adventure will be about Linux. So Linux and cloud computing. Yes. Hello, hello. Actually, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I will call you just in after some time. I'm streaming. Ready to go and watch anyway. So yeah, I'll be starting a new journey in Linux and in cloud computing. And what I want to start with is when you start when you want to do cloud computing, you need to be good at Linux. So that is the first thing you have to do when you're starting cloud computing. Not just cloud computing, but Linux is the fundamental of, let's say, for you to being technical, you need to start with Linux. So yeah, I'm going to be going through the roadmap that I'll be following in order to learn cloud computing. And the first thing that the the roadmap I got this roadmap from from a tech YouTuber called Tech with Nana. She's into cloud. She's a cloud engineer. Actually, what I'm doing is being a cloud engineer. I'm a software engineer, but I'm not just transitioning from software engineer to being cloud engineer, but I want to broaden my skills. So I need to get better also in whatever thing that I'm doing. So in software development, as I stated before, I started learning Go. I worked with Go, and I realized that Go is mostly used in cloud. So it is the one used for building this cloud native. And if you're a software engineer, then you have cloud skills, so you have you will get many opportunities. So you will have many opportunities. So that is my strategy of that's the reason I'm trying to learn cloud computing. And according to the roadmap, this is the roadmap. This is the PDF that has that roadmap. So this roadmap will take you from being beginner to being a cloud engineer. So and you have to follow the steps, and you have to progress, because it will take you a lot of years to in order for you to become an expert or to become a cloud engineer. So uh this is the roadmap provided by Tech World with Nana. You can even open her YouTube channel and see she has a lot of videos concerning DevOps, concerning cloud, concerning DevOps clouds and DevSecOps. That is the DevOps security. That is security of the cloud. So table of content. This is here. This is exactly what you will be learning. The first will be the fundamentals of IT. Fundamentals of IT. That is basically the Linux. This is what I was talking about. Linux, and then you need after doing Linux, that is then you go to cloud fundamentals. After cloud fundamentals, you will have to look into infrastructure as code. And infrastructure as code, it can be using Terraform to automate the process of provisioning your infrastructure, either in AWS, in Azure, or in other cloud services such as Google Cloud. And after moving from phase 3, you go to phase 4. Then you'll have to learn about containers and container orchestration. Containers are Docker, where you containerize your application. What it means is that you have to package your application into something called containers in Docker, as Docker images, And then these Docker images, when you run them, they will become containers, so that when you send them to other developers, they don't have to install the environment again, or they don't have to deal with the problem of versioning. So, and container orchestration is container orchestration is a process of let's say managing, just creating the containers, because when you're building application, you might, when you're building in a large scale, you might be building uh you might be building so many services. So, and so many and those services will be deployed in Docker containers. So these containers, for you to manage them, it will give you a hard time. That's why technology called Kubernetes is invented. So what Kubernetes does is that it orchestrates these containers. What orchestration means is that you use them to manage the containers, to update, to delete, to scale and downscale. So after learning containers and container orchestration, you have to go to CI/CD and DevOps practice. So CI/CD and DevOps practice. This is the process of automating the build and deploy of the code that the developers write. So you can, if let's say you're a software engineer, you write your code, you push the update to GitHub, and then the CI/CD pipeline will be triggered. So I worked with GitHub Action, so I'm trying to also diversify my skills, such as I have to learn GitLab. GitLab is also a CI/CD pipeline and is used by very many companies. And then also Jenkins, I have to look into it. So that I can have a broader skill. You don't know what can be there posted in a job description, so you have to be ready. You have to have that fundamental. So yeah, you can either learn GitHub Action, and then because GitHub Action is new and modern, so it's very important for you to learn it, and it's actually easy to get into it. You can also learn GitLab if you want to work in a real enterprise, real world, real enterprise and startups. So you need to learn GitLab. And then phase 6, that's when I will come and learn about monitoring, logging, and observability. So in monitoring, I will be learning about a technology called Prometheus. Prometheus is used for monitoring. Monitoring basically means checking the traffic of your application, uh, checking the traffic, also checking errors, uh, seeing seeing errors, checking the traffic, and also checking if there's downtime in your application. So that's why monitoring is very important. And monitoring, there are tools like like Prometheus. You can configure it, and then you can monitor your application. So after that, I will have to look into cloud security. So yeah, cloud security is also very important, and I would wrap it up with that is cloud security. Yeah. So the approach that I will be using is a practical approach. I will be, because I have so many projects that I have built. That's the reason also that is pushing me to learn into cloud. I have so many projects that I have built, and they're not deployed out there. And I already have the fundamentals, but I feel like this, I have to take it from the beginning, so that I can also get the certification. So after following this roadmap, I'll be also going to do the AWS Cloud Practitioner. That is the entry level cloud certification for you to enter into cloud world. So to see the power of cloud here, you can also read more about it. I will share with you there's a section here that I want to show you guys. That is the cloud engineering. Let's say if you enter into cloud, becoming a cloud engineer, the career path that you will get. In the beginning, you will start with the entry level. That is the cloud. That is junior cloud engineer. That is the entry level position of let's say if you manage to follow the roadmap, and you also do AWS Cloud Practitioner, or any certification that can get you started with cloud. So you might be able to learn junior cloud engineer jobs. So in junior cloud engineer jobs, that is like the entry level position, focused basically on cloud implementation. So you will be implementing services like AWS services like compute, and the compute in AWS is EC2, working with the storage, working with VPS, and so many things, and so many other things. So entry level, you can be it doesn't require a lot of experience from the moment you start out. It only takes like 2 years for you to get into and to become an entry level cloud engineer. So to become a cloud engineer, let's say in the US, they pay you get like $80 to $100 in a year. So that is for being an entry level cloud engineer. And then let's say you continue your journey and then you continue into the cloud, you learn more, you can now become a cloud engineer. And cloud engineer they manage cloud infrastructure and also implement solution independently. So you might be having like 2 to 5 years experience, and in the US you get like 100 to 130 USD, that is per year. So after becoming a cloud engineer, you can now become a senior cloud engineer or DevOps engineer. So a DevOps engineer, what your daily tasks will be, you lead complex cloud initiative and establish best practices for organizations. So you will be like a consultant where you show the organization like the best practice of what you can do as a cloud engineer. And then you will be expected to have like 5 to 8 years of experience. And then the compensation can be like 130 to 160 USD. That is in the US. So as you continue your journey and you become expert, you will be a cloud architect. A cloud architect design enterprise scale and cloud architectures and drive technical strategies. So you will be like the real consultant of the organization or of the enterprise or the corporate environment that you are in. So you will be designing enterprise and in designing an enterprise level and scale architecture of an enterprise. So what what you will do is that you will also redirect the organization with the strategies of what they're doing. So you're expected to have experience of 8 years plus, then you get like 150 to 200 USD. That is in the US. So as you can see that for you to get into the cloud, you need the basics of cloud. So what I have done is, and the basic of cloud, the basic of cloud, you need to start with Linux. You need to get your hands dirty with Linux. So today I started working with Linux. Mind you, I worked with Linux so many times in EC2. So as I wanted to follow the roadmap, I said I have to refresh my skills and start again. So yeah, today I worked on Linux, and these are the simple things that I worked with in Linux. Here, let me spin Linux. Here I have Ubuntu. Let me Ubuntu, but I'm running it as a Docker container. So let me get into it. Yeah, here I'm in Linux, and then things that you get when you're doing Linux is that is I'm not meaning that the basic level Linux that you do, or just how to use a Linux computer, but no, the things that you have to learn in as a cloud engineer is kind of different. Why you need Linux? You need Linux so that you can debug in case you have a server that is running any service. So you need to enter inside that server and debug whatever thing that you're doing, whatever service that is running. You might be having crashes in the server. Let's say you have a Linux server that is running your database. So that server might crash, or malicious or people who have malicious intention attack your server and try to change the port that connects to the database. So that is your work as a cloud engineer to debug the issues. That's why majority of people who worked as cloud engineers, sometimes you receive call at night in the midnight saying that the application has crashed, and the users want to use the application, but the application has crashed at 2 a.m. in the morning, at 2 a.m. at night. You have to wake up and fix the issue, so that you cannot lose the customers, or yeah, so that you cannot lose the customers or cause mistrust in your organization. So what you can do as the basics of debugging things in the cloud or troubleshooting, it can be let's start with the basics. That is checking things in your cloud. So the first thing is, let's say, checking the files in your cloud. You can type ls, that is to list all the files. So these are the files that I have. And then if you want to see more details about the file, like I have this file db response.tx and then health response.tx. I can also type ls-l. It will show me the permissions, the size of the file, and this here is the permissions of the file. The permissions. Like this file has read and write, so this file also has read and write. These are the permission. So the first thing you can do here, let's say here I'm not in the root directory, so I can also cd into the root. Let me see this. Yeah, this I'm now in the root directory, and I can manage to view anything. I can manage to view all the things that I have here. So for you to learn Linux, the first thing that you need to know is the folder structure. And the folder structure in Linux is a tree base. So you have to start with the root level, coming down to the smaller folder directories and the files. So that is the folder structure of Linux, and I can show you from this here. Somewhere here within the roadmap. Cost 7. Okay, here's the fundamental IT to know. Linux administration network. Linux administration. Yeah, this is it. You need to, the first thing that you need to get good at it is a command line proficiency. You have to become good at writing these commands, and then the folder, the file and file system structure. So understand Linux file system structure. It is hierarchically, and then important directories and how to navigate them. So this is one thing that I will be learning, how to navigate this file. Yeah, that is what I wanted to show you guys. And here's the file, the file system of Linux. So for you to learn this, you need to learn it in a scenario based way, or you need to have a scenario of what you're doing. Because let's say here, for example, we have this Linux server. Let's assume that we have SSH into a server, and then what we want to do is that our server is running a database, and then that database has crashed, or let's say somebody has done, a hacker has attacked the server and has done something malicious to our server. So our database has crashed, and our users are complaining that they cannot. The application is totally down. Let's say we are using only one database and the application is totally down. Okay, so we need to debug that issue. So that's the reason why you need to learn Linux. In order to debug the application, we need to check the database file. We need to see where the database configuration, where our Linux server is connecting to our database. So, and most database here in this Linux is running Postgres SQL. I have Postgres SQL installed in it. Most database they have all their configuration starts with conf, that is .conf. So for you to view something, for you to search for something, let's say you want to search for that configuration files that has our Linux, that has our Postgres configuration, we need to find it. So for us to find it, we can say find like this, and then the name of the file. So we don't know the file that we are searching for. We need to, let's say you don't know the name exactly, but you need to search for it. So you can do like this. That is all. And then what this command means is that it's going to find, so I forgot name here, find -name. What this command does is that it finds any file in the system that has this name, that has the ending of conf. So most databases they end with conf. So let's try and find. So these are the files that our application are found. So our application found very many folders. So what I need to do is that I need to add more specification. Let me say find then let me say I need to find db. db dot here. Okay, so our application is saying that we have this file, this configuration file, within the root directory in etc application and db.config here. That is where our config is. So let's go there and then see what we have, see that file. So for you to enter or change directory within the file in Linux, you have to do cd, and then where are we going? We're going to etc slash application slash db dot config. cd, is it correct? I think I have to get rid of this. Bash cd not a directory. Okay, let me do it again. And then let me go to that file from the root. Copy that. I have etc here, so it has to work. cd. Let me get rid of this now. Oh, sorry guys. I'm supposed to I'm not supposed to enter inside the file, so I copied the file name. Yeah, like this. So I'm inside that directory where the config is. So the next thing is, let me view, so we can use ls. So these are the config. So I can now clearly see that I have a config, and I can see that this server was running. This server has been configured to run a database. So let's see. I'm curious. I want to see what is inside that config. So for you to see something inside a file, you have to use the cat command. The cat command, I think it stands for concatenate. So what it does is it allows you to see the content of a file. So dot conf like this. So yeah, this is the data that we have inside. I think we have the database host, that is localhost, and then we have the database port that is here, and then the database name, it is here, and then so I have this is the information concerning connecting to the database. So let's say if you are troubleshooting, you can easily find the database like this, and then you try to configure it. The next step is, let's say I want to change something. Maybe the malicious, maybe the hacker try to change the port number or try to do something so that our application can crash. So we need to open that configuration and see what we have inside. You can do vi, and then the name of vi, then the name of that db dot conf. What this vi does is vim, and vim is an editor inside this console or inside the terminal, and then vim allows you to change things inside the terminal. So I can type I, it means that insert. I can enter insert mode, so I can easily now change things here. Let's say the hacker changed this from something like from this to this. I can now change it back to wherever that is, to the right port. This is the correct port for Postgres. Then let's say we want to change the name of the database, we want to do anything, we can do them here. So after editing the file, or when we are troubleshooting, you can just type escape, then type shift X to save the file. So the next thing is we want to view the logs. Let's say we want to see what is happening with our server. Let's say we want to see the errors that we have. Let me go back to the root directory. So we want to view the errors that we have, and in Linux, errors are always in errors are supposed to be in var. Let me cd slash var. Let me see. Pull them log cache backups. No, they are not here. Go back again. There's a certain folder that has the errors. Let me see, etc slash etc. Let's see, ls we have application. Okay, let me cd and then type ls here, and go back to the root directory and see what we have here. App media, we have there, we have etc link media user. Let's see the user. I want to see the system logs. What we have in the system log. We have the share source. Let me see. Let's say I want to check errors, so you have to be creative here. So we can easily use the other method that we used to find error directory. So one way is that I can try to find, because I know that in every Linux server we have error.log like this. So what I can do is find. Let me see the exact name where this find, and then what I want to find is error.log like this. So you have to be creative and think out of the box. So what does this say? Is not returning anything? Type ls now. cd bug. Okay, then I start finding it from here. Okay, so it showed us that error.log is located within var logs and then application. So let's try to cd there and then see what we have. Let's copy it. Let's copy the name of the directory and then we cd there. Cd this. So we are inside the application directory, and then inside the application we got the logs that I was talking about. We have the access logs, we have the error log, we have the system log. So let's say this server is running your application. Let's assume just that this server is running the application. It's not running the database. Is running a Docker container, and the Docker container is running your application. So you want to see the errors, what is happening to it, what is stopping the application from running, or maybe you have a bug in your application that the developer has just introduced when they are pushing new code. So you have to check the bug. You have to come to the logs and then see what is going on. So for us to view this, we can just say cut. Then let's say we want to see errors. So it has given us a lot of text, so you can go through it. Or let's say you're in a real world scenario and the application is having so many logs. So getting the log there, getting the specific log that you want, it will be very difficult for you to get. So what you can do is you have to use pipes. What pipe does is that it allows you to run two commands at the same time. So how it is done is like this. I can just say cut like this, and then the name of the file, that is error.log, and then I use this pipe, right? So after using this pipe, I want to specify the name. I want to search for something, so I want to specify the exact log that I need, because the application might have so many logs, and then I might need only, like, let's say, the logs related to database. So I have to use a command called grep. This grep, it will help you to get whatever thing that you need. I think it's -grep like this. Let's just try it. If it fails, and then let's say we want the database logs only. Database. Let's say we are looking for something that has database. So we don't have to put R. It's just, we don't have to put the. Okay, yeah. So it has given us all the logs that are related to only database. See, so let's say when you're working also, you don't need, let's say you are trying to debug your server, you don't need to just view like this. You have to, like, let's say, conduct a research, right? And when you're conducting your research, you have to save the logs somewhere. So go back to this command like this, and then so what we want is that we need to save this log within a certain file so that we can visit it and then see what we have. you can use this command and then the name of the file that you need to send. Let's say I want to call it database errors.log, like this. So what I have done is that I saved all my things within this database error.log, and that is this. So let me try to visit it, and I can say here I can use cut, then the name of that file. So yeah, I can just save the information that my research information within a certain file, and then later reuse it. So that is it with the cloud. That is it with this Linux, and this is most of the things that you will do. So for you, in order to get into the cloud, you have to be good at Linux. That's why these are the most things that you will be doing. You will be troubleshooting, and you will be SSHing into clouds into cloud services such as EC2, and then yeah, trying to execute so many commands in it. So this is what I have done today, and what I'm planning next is to upgrade my skills, to add more things, to add more Linux skills. And most of the Linux skills that you learn them while you're working or while you're doing something. You cannot just learn them from tutorial. You need to, and you cannot just learn them within one single day. So it takes time. You cannot learn them from tutorial, and you cannot learn them in a single day. How you learn them is that you have to, let's say, get a real world scenario and then try to get your hands dirty and start working with whatever thing that you need to do. So yeah, after this, what I'm what I want to learn is the permissions, how to work with permissions in Linux. And to work with permissions, I worked with permissions, but there are so many things to do with permission, and most of the things is, let's say, that is changing permissions of file. Let me just try to create an example file. For you to create a file, you use the touch command. Let's say touch, and then let's say example file, example, and then let's just create it as the txt, like this, txt, right? So we have example.txt, and then let's see the permission that .txt has. Ls, let's see all of them, and then we just come to example.txt. I have example.txt here. Within this file, we can read and write, right? We can read and write, let's say, inside this file. But let's say this is a database. Let's say these are logs of a database, and you don't need users to. You don't need somebody who has gained unauthorized access to your server to change things within this to change things within the file, within the log file, or within any specific file that you need. So you use this change ch then mode, that is the change. This just, it means that you change the permission of a file, and then there are so many permissions of a file. So let me show you guys here. Linux permissions. What I'm looking for. Okay. I wrote Prism instead of Linux permissions. Permissions. Numbers. Okay, let me just say all numbers. Numbers explain. Okay. Each of the three basic permission has assigned value. R, that is read, it has 4, and then W, that is write, it has 2, X, that is execute, it has 1, and dash, that is 0, which means it has no permission. So we can see them from here. Let's go back to what we had before. Let's say ls dash l, like this. So dash, that means that this file has has no permission to read or write. Let's that file has no permission, and you can either read or write. Let's just see. Uh, Instead of using this, let's use it within Gemini here, and then so these are the permissions that we read about right now, and then let's confirm it from this and then see which permission that this file has. Because it's starting with dash, that means it has no permission. That is, say, what are the permissions of this file? So based on the output provided, the access log has a symbolic permission of dash, read write, the read write. Okay, to translate this into a plain English, it's a numerical octal. We break down we break it into three distinct groups after initial dash, which signifies it is a regular file. Okay. Mm, Category symbol calculation and octal permission. Okay. We have 4 plus 2 and plus 0, that is 6, can read and write but not execute. Okay, this file you can read and write but it's not executable. That's why it has RW. Okay, and then group R dash R can only read. So summary access that log numerical 64644. Okay, this is the permission number that I was talking about. It has 644, and then the owner root, that is root is the owner and has read write access. Okay, this is standard for logs and has a system. Okay, group members of this root group can only read and write. Okay, and other anyone else on the system can only read. So these letters has hidden meaning. What it says is that let's say the root, the owner of the person who has the root access to the system can read and write, but this file cannot be executed. You cannot execute it. You cannot use dot and then execute it. I will show you guys how to make a folder executable, make a file executable. So the root can read, write, and then anyone who's in the group with who has access to this server but is not the root can only read. So let's say the group can only read, and anyone who has access to this can also only read. And then and then yeah, the rest can only read. So the total permission will be 644. Let's see for all of them. Here we have six. We have okay, it is for the root. The root is the owner of this file, and what the root can do is can read and write. The root can read and write, and then anyone in the group, they can read and they can write. So this is similar to that one. Then let me see this. Root is the owner, but the root cannot write. I think the root cannot change anything because this is error log. The root cannot change. So the permission of this is it is only 4. It is only 4. So let's say with our example, we can also read, write. You can read, write. That is the root. Root is the owner, and the group can read, and then anyone who has access to it can just write. So let's see a way of how can we change permission of a file. So the number octal method, this is the fastest way if you know exactly what permission you want to use or not group on, right? You can simply provide 3 digits. Okay, we can provide 3 digits. That is the read, write, and it depends on the number we are using. As they say that 4 is to read and 6 is to write, right? So we can use this command change mode and then the number, that is the pattern that we want. Let's say the group, the root, the group, and the members. Which kind of permission do you want to give them? And then to make a file private, you can just say change mode and then to be 600. Okay, that is 600. You can make it private. So to make a script executable, change mode and then we have 7. This is the pattern of making something executable. Or you can make, to make something executable also, you can use a change mode u plus x, or just u plus x and then the name of that file. So let's go to our example.txt. Let's say you want to change the permission of this example.txt. Let's see. So currently the example.txt has 4644. Let me see. This is it, right? Yeah, it has 4, 6. Let's confirm it. Yeah, we have 4. Oh, sorry. W is actually 2, and then dash is 0. So it has a 420. That is 420. That is for the first one, the first line. That is for this. And then here we have 644. Yeah, 644. R dash is R dash dash. That is 4 plus 0 plus 0, and then R dash dash, that's 4 plus 0 plus 0. So let's see it from here. We have a dash RW. That is the first thing, right? I hope is what this thing has. So the dash, it doesn't matter. We have to start with. We start with this RW dash, and then we have R dash dash R dash dash. Okay, so it's kind of clear now. So also this has the same. So this is RW dash. It means that 4 plus 2 plus 0, right? That is 6. And then 4 plus 0 plus 0, that is 4. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. So all of it will have 6, 4, 4. Also this 6, 4, 4. That is to read, write, and read also. So what if we want to change this? We want to change the permission of this so that anyone can, so that no one can read or write it. So we can say change mode and then the number of the permission. Let's say we want change mode and then let's say we want 400. We want to give it 400. That is only read. And then the name of the file is example.ts. Sorry, it's supposed to be example.txt. Cannot access no file. Oh, I wrote rxt txt. Yeah. So we change the permission of this and then let's see it again. So yeah, see, we made it read only. So this file is now read only, and this is also read only, like the errors. We can only read and we cannot edit it. So let's say you want to edit it, you can say change mode, and then we want to read. Now 6, that is read. 4 is 6, that is write. 4 is write. 4 is read. So the name of that file. So we have write, read, read. That is for the 4 level of the users. The first level of the user, that is the root user, and then the second level is the group, and then the last one is the normal user. So what we can do is then we just specify the name of that file again. Example.txt. When we type else dash L, so the permission is back now. And then the other thing is, let's say I want to make a file executable. Let's say, let me try to create a simple file, a simple bash file. Let's say vi let's say hello.sh, like this. So I have a simple shell file. Let's say I want to print something. There's this thing in sh, the shebang. Actually, hashbang. So this is it. Yeah, I have to, let's say in every sh file, every bash file, you need to indicate that this is what you have to indicate first. And then, yeah, I want to echo. Let me echo something here. Echo is just like print. Let's say hello, like this. Let's save it. So currently I have a shell file, and then that file, for me to execute it, I have to change the permission of it. Let's see which permission it has. Dash L. This system lock. Okay, as you can see, the file has the permission of 6444. That means it's only read, write. I can only read and write it from it, but I cannot execute it. And this is a shell file. Of course, maybe it has commands that I need to execute. So you have to change the permission of this file in order to be executable. So how can you do that? You do it by saying change mode, and then u plus x, and then the name of that file. That is how did I call it? It's hello.sh. So when I type else, I will see it has changed the color now. That means it is executable. Let me see else dash L. You can see the permission has changed. I can now see X because X is also executable. As we saw before that, let me go back to the browser and then you see what number has X. So I think it's here. X has 1. That means that this has RW, that is RW, that is 4, that is 2 plus 4, 2 plus 4 plus 1, that is how many? 2 plus 4 plus 1, 2 plus 4, that is 6 plus 1, that is 7, plus 2, that is 9, right? So it is 9, and 9, yeah, 9, this is the first one, because we do it like this, 9 plus 0 plus 0, okay. And then what we have here, it is 2 plus 0 plus 0, I think 9 2, let me see. I think it's something like that. What this executable has, which permission number does this executable have? Let's just confirm it. Let's confirm our math. So this has 4 plus this, actually 7, sorry, 4 4. So it is 744 for being executable. So an executable file has 744. So right now we can easily execute this by typing dot and then the name of that file. We say hello .sh. So yeah, we can see that hello there. That comes from the executable file, the executable the echo command that we inserted there. So permission is also very important in Linux. And then one after learning more about permission, I will have to learn about process management. Process management, learn how to start and stop, monitor a process, understand the concept like foreground, background process, job controls, and process priority. So also this is an interesting part. Also, I have to learn. I have to learn about the process management. Then I have to learn about the scripting, and then package management. Package management. Become familiar with packages like apt, yum. All of these things I worked with, but I have to like upskill. I have to upskill in them so that I can properly do the cloud work that is needed. And then after package management, I have to system logging, know where the logs are and how to analyze them. Yeah. So after finishing this phase of uh, Linux fundamental, I will come to networking. I will come and learn more about networking. I will learn essential concepts in networking like IP addresses, DNS, subnets, routing, and then firewalls, load balancing, VPNs. These are all the concepts that you need to nail down before you start your cloud engineering. And then after that, you can learn programming basics. For programming basics, I already have vast knowledge in programming, and I'm also currently pursuing Go. So there's no need of this. I can skip this. I can skip this phase. So the key concept they're saying is file handling. All of this I have done them. Error handling. So maybe the databases. I also worked with database, but I'll kind of refresh my skills in databases. Then I will work with relational databases. Mind you that I also worked with the AWS RDS, that is the database in AWS. And then cloud consideration. So that is where the fun begins. That's where you start the real work, where you start working with cloud. Can either learn about manage or self manage, understand the trade off between user managed database, self managed like RDS. Then yeah, backups and recovery, security, performance optimization. All of these you have to nail them down. And then here, that is phase two. That is now, well, that is where you start your cloud fundamentals. And the cloud fundamentals are you start learning about cloud services. Then what I was thinking of is after finishing all these steps up there, and then I reach phase two. I think that is where uh I have to start my AWS cloud practitioner certification, because certifications are also very important, and will help you they will help you not only learn jobs, but you will learn in the process of doing the certification. And also certifications are proof of what you have done. So you should not only like do certification, but you do certifications with you can do certifications, and then while you have hands-on projects to show to the employees or to show the HRs that are going to hire you. So then phase three, deployment models. So I will, after doing the AWS practitioner cloud, and then I will come and learn about deployment models. Like the public cloud, there is private cloud, there is hybrid, uh, and then choosing my cloud platform. Yeah, I think this will be when I choose AWS practitioner. I already decided that I will be doing AWS cloud practitioner. So yeah, Amazon, AWS, Azure, all of this. And then after this phase, then we have platform specific skills deep dive into choosing cloud. Yeah, I think this is still similar to that one. Still, you will still get it in the certification. Like here, compute services, that is in EC2, AWS. Uh, okay, then storage like S3 bucket, and then networking like VPS and subnets. So here we have phase three, that is infrastructure as code. I think after you finish your certification in cloud, you can now learn about infrastructure as code, that is working with Terraform or working with Plumini. Or there are so many infrastructure as code software out there. And then we have infrastructure as code automating. deployment. So you can automate the deployment here. For example, here they're using Terraform to automate deployment in AWS or in Kubernetes cluster. Phase 3, that is still deep dive into this. And then here's Terraform, learning SDLC, container and orchestration, that is also part of this container, Docker. Yeah. And then phase 5 is the CI/CD pipeline. After doing that one, I will come and work with CI/CD pipelines, and I will be deep diving into GitLab and Jenkins because I've already worked with the GitHub Action. I've already nailed the fundamentals, but I feel like I have to start them off. I have to start it again so that uh, I can get into depth knowledge of this. Because in a job, when you're seeking for a job, they look for they don't look for shallow knowledge. They need to look into depth of what you know about uh what you're applying for. So this is example of, I think, CI/CD pipeline here. Here's the merging the remote. This is the remote Git repository. Okay. Within the pipeline, it tests, it builds, it scans, and here we have artifacts, and then it deploys. That is automated release pipeline, and then I think it's run with Jenkins. DevOps practice. Yeah, I think so far this is it. It will be a very long journey, and it will be a very long journey, and yeah, I have to, and each and every phase that I reach here, I will have to I will have to show what I have done so that I have to show what I have done so that I can practice the skills, and I can also someone else might benefit from the roadmap, or someone else might benefit from the way I'm doing this. So yeah, that is it, and thank you for watching the stream. I think for today's stream is kind of short stream because this is just the starting of this. Then in the coming days, I'll also push. I'll also show whatever thing that I'm doing, and I will show my stage in Learning Cloud. And this is this is the beginning. But I also have other things that I'm also doing, things that I'm keeping track on. Some days I might be streaming concerning doing cloud, and some days I might be streaming building a real world application. So yeah, it will be normal, and I will try to figure out which days I will be streaming doing cloud, and which days I'll be streaming doing building the project that is Focus Flow, which I have been building in the past the past several weeks. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you gain something from here. Let's see you in the next stream. So you can also subscribe so that you can subscribe so that you can be notified whenever I release a video, or whenever I open a stream to talk take to talk something that can benefit you. So nowadays the reason why I started streaming, because it's very hard to get someone to talk this concept with. So I feel like when I come online and then talk about that concept, I will get so many people that want to listen to whatever thing that I'm talking about. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe. I'm ending this stream here.